Welcome, everyone. You're listening to WUSB Stony Brook. You just listened to a whole bunch of songs from Boys of Fall, touring here soon in February, I believe on the 2nd, at Amityville Music Hall. How about you guys introduce yourselves and tell us a bit about the band?
Hey, everybody. My name is Eli. I play bass in Boys of Fall.
And I'm Dan Quigley, and I play guitar.
So, how long has this project been around, and how did you guys meet, and did this project form together? Jeez.
It's kind of a long story, but I'll try to keep it short. Boys of Fall really started in late 2011, and our singer Mike actually went to college in my hometown here in Adrian. So him and I met through a mutual friend. The band had already kind of started from that point, and they had a demo out, and they needed a bass player, and the mutual friend showed it to me, and I said, oh man, I got to join this band. They're going to be really good. So I tried out and got in the band, and it's been a long road. 7 years later, here we are. But yeah. That's really kind of how we got our start, was right here in Adrian. So
for the past year or so, you guys could say you were pretty much in a big transition. You had the member change. So how did a whole dynamic and the focus of the band change from that?
It was weird because like before that, we had been doing a lot of touring, and we did a lot of shopping out to labels. Trying to really push hard to get a record deal, and it just wasn't panning out. And through that process, it really drew the that lineup of guys. It really brought us together, got us really close, and so when things kind of fell apart, it kind of made things. It kind of made it really difficult to walk away from. So while we kind of played our last show a little over a year and a half ago, back in 2016, and we during that time we released a full-length album, and it did really well. All of our fans on Spotify just kept on listening to it, and in doing so, a lot of people started paying attention again. Managers, agents. And some labels started hitting us back up. Yep. And in that process, we decided to get things back going again. And that's when we brought Dan and Vic into the fold. And the dynamic definitely has changed, but for the better. We were all really, really close friends in the last lineup. And not that we're not as close with this lineup, but this one is definitely a lot more business-oriented. We definitely want to do this as a career, and we want to do this for a living, So that being said, this lineup is definitely more geared towards the working end of things versus just getting together and having a good time,
so
which is still very important. But
do you feel this is kind of a new beginning for a band instead of like the next chapter in the story?
Yeah, without a doubt, hands down. I mean, it works a lot differently, but the overall sound is still there. Mike and Jake with the vocals, that's never going to change, and that's what I want a lot of people to understand is, like, the music is going to change as we get older and we mature and as our music evolves, but the vocals are going to sound the same, if not better. Mike and Jake just always continue to get better, and Mike's melody writing is second to none. So we've got a lot of really cool stuff planned.
So, like you said a bit ago, you guys didn't play a show for like a year and a half or so. So recently, you guys finally came back to the stage at St. Andrew's Hall with Stories Untold. So, how did that show play out for you guys?
That was a really, really fun time. So. That was actually my first show with the guys. After they, started talking about getting back together and there was a spot available for me. I'd been in an old band that I played in. We called Hour 24. We toured with Boys of Fall. I believe, was it your first tour, Eli?
Yeah, it was our first tour. That was in 2014.
We took Boys of Fall on our first tour, and that's when I like really met and got close to a lot of the guys and that. And since then I've been like keeping up with Jake and that. And then when both my old band and Boys of Fall, actually, I think we played our last shows. It was like a week apart, funny enough.
It was just meant to be.
Yeah. And during that time, I started talking to Jake again, and we were kind of writing some music together. And then I went over to Mike's studio and was writing some stuff with them. And what we ended up writing was actually our newest single, "No Good for Me." And kind of after that, Mike sent that around to the guys and that, and the spot was up, and that was sort of how I ended up landing into the band here, and that. But the back to the show, anyways. It was like it's been great. It was a really fun time to haven't played a show in that long of a time and come back to such an awesome venue and so
having
many people.
a really great like crowd number. Seeing like the pictures.
Yeah. It was a lot of hard work too, especially for like me and Vic, because we had to jump in and learn all of the material, and about really we started rehearsals in about like a month and a half's time, but it was great.
So let's now talk about your recent signing with Invogue Records back in November. So how did that whole deal come together?
Over the summer, that's when we kind of decided to slowly and quietly talk to labels again. What we didn't want to do was announce a massive comeback and then fall short of anything less than what the project deserved. And so, we wanted to quietly see like if there was any interest out there for our band. And so we hired new managers from Word is Bond Incorporated, and they're Mark and Eric are our new managers. And from the very get-go, they reached out to us and really loved what we were doing. They saw the Spotify numbers, growing on their own without any promotion from us. So, like I said, they reached out to us. We hired them, and they went right to work and found out that it was a little bit more of the same. There was some damage done out there. For whatever reason, people didn't want to sign us, and so we just kind of stayed patient, kept writing music, kept getting together, and then we sent some stuff out to Invogue, and they heard one song and sent over an offer. They were very excited to work with us, and us them.
We're very happy to be with them. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely, yeah. It's been nothing but smooth sailing with them. They've been super supportive. They really, again, like Mark and Eric, our new managers, they really believe in our vision, and that's really important to us. Like, they don't... I remember back in 2015 when the first label pitches began, a big thing was like a name change, and really people just really didn't... Change. Yeah, and Invogue's not about that at all. They've said to us multiple times, like, this is your art, like, it's our job to sell it, but at the end of the day, it's your guys' art. And that's huge for us, because we really believe in our vision. Obviously, we don't want to put out a bad product.
Yeah.
But we also want to put something out there that's true to us. We want to put music out and an image out that we believe in and that we would buy. So yeah, Invogue's been super supportive, and they've really given us a platform to put our music out there, and we're really excited about that future.
So do you feel any pressure, or does it make you more confident in yourself as a musician?
I think,
yeah, go ahead, Dan.
I mean, there's definitely there's like a pressure, like moving into this kind of a phase, but it's like a good kind of pressure, a lot of people say, like, this is where the, like, real work begins, like, when you're at this, because, once you take that step and you're, like, doing music at, like, a truly, like, professional level and, like, as your job, there is a lot of scary things that go with that, there's lots of risks in that. So there is just like a life pressure to like try and be successful that kind of hangs over your head. But it's also a very rewarding and like good feeling too, because you're finally out there and doing what you want to do for a living.
Yeah,
if that makes sense.
So let's talk about your upcoming material. You guys are aiming for a new LP sometime in 2018, and you're working on music now. So what's the process you're taking to make each song?
It's honestly kind of the same as always. Somebody will come up with a riff, and we'll send it out to Mike, our singer, and we'll really sit down with him. And he does a lot of the structuring, because at the end of the day, he's got to write his vocals to it. So he also owns his own studio, Undead Media. So he did our first LP. That was all done through him. He shot our music video for No Good For Me. So he's very talented as far as the media aspect of it goes, and he's also extremely talented with the producing. So he has to have his handprints on the structure of the song to really get a feel for the writing process for him.
A lot of
very collaborative.
A lot of what we do, we kind of like all show up at the studio and sit down and come up with an idea, track that idea into the computer, and then just kind of layer over it as we go and see what works and what doesn't.
So recently you guys went down to Florida and you worked with Andrew Wade on, I guess, on the record or just single?
We just did a single with him.
Okay, so how was the experience working with him, and did you learn anything?
It was awesome.
It was great, yeah.
It was so awesome.
I mean, for one, I think it was like, 7 degrees when we hopped on the plane, and then we got off the plane in Florida, and it was like 70, so that was great to begin with. But I mean, that aside, it was just a great experience. Andrew's very oriented about the song. So, we went in there, and the first day was pretty much, just looking at the entire song and seeing how, what can we do to make this a better song, and, a lot of just, like, taking things apart, trying different chord progressions over stuff, tweaking the melodies, and then we got more into, like, tracking it, whereas I know, like, some other people, you'll get and record the thing, and then you'll just kind of be stuck and hit a wall where, like, well, this doesn't work here, and, sometimes you end up with not as good a thing as you would have liked, whereas he starts right from the beginning and saying, all right, here's where we can, make things good, which is awesome.
So, you guys are hitting into the road in February with We Were Sharks. What are your biggest goals for this tour?
Just honestly, first of all, have a good time and grow together as a band. I feel like yeah, right. I feel like people get really close, and when you're far away from home like that, we're all brought in that van together, traveling the country to play music. So first of all, I'd like that to be important, but also, like, I want to see the fans that we do have out there. We've never gone out with, like, any kind of presence at all. It's the first time that I think somebody just messaged us the other day saying they bought tickets to a show in New York, and it's like, wow, I didn't know anybody knew us out there, so this is going to be a lot of fun. But yeah, to meet existing fans and to make new ones. I just really want to make new fans and enjoy traveling with my friends.
So one of the dates is Amityville Music Hall here on Long Island, New York. For the people listening that don't know you or, like, never listened to your music before, why should they come out to your show?
We are high energy, very passionate about what we do, and you'll see that from start to finish. Extremely passionate, extremely talented. and we write really good music, and you'll be able to hear it live, and you'll be able to feel it live, and then we give great hugs. We hug everybody after our show.
All right, how about you guys just share where people can keep up to date with you online and listen to your music?
That's you, Dan.
All right, so we're on, all the good social media stuff. We're on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter. Twitter, the handle is We Are Boys of Fall. Instagram is Boys of Fall MI. What else? And then if you just search us on Spotify too, everything's up there. And pretty much that's it. And I know if you type it in Google, you may get a Kenny Chesney song too.
All right. Well, thanks for coming on and talking about the band and your upcoming record and tour. Hopefully,
thank you for having us.
We'll have you in the studio when you're here in New York. Talk to you guys soon.
Thank you.